Okay, so today's mini lesson is going to be over writing systems of equations. And then after we write them, we are going to go ahead and solve them. And you can solve by either using the substitution method, elimination method, or graphing if possible. But for these, I really want to just see substitution or elimination because there are no graphs on here. All right. And we did this in class, so we did not have access to our computers to utilize Desmos. So we're just going to solve them by either substitution or elimination. Okay. So we're going to do a couple of these together with my other classes. I did 1, 2, 7, 8, 11, and 12. We wrote the equations and then they were on their own to solve them. And then for 16, 17, and 19, you are definitely going to be writing and solving those systems of equations. So let's go ahead and get started. Here are our steps in order to write and solve our systems of equations. Step 1 says to define your two variables. So in example 1, it says the sum of two numbers is 30 and their difference is 12. They want us to find out what those two numbers are. So for all of these examples, my variables I'm going to use are x and y, just to make things easy for myself. So I'm going to let x represent the first number, and I'm going to let y represent the second number. To write my systems of equations, it's telling me that the sum of those two numbers is 30. So that means that x plus y equals 30. Then the problem is also telling me that the difference of those two numbers is 12. So that means x minus y is equal to 12. So now we're going to go ahead and solve this systems of equations, and I'm going to choose to solve by doing the elimination method, all right? And remember, the elimination method just means that one of my variables has to have opposite coefficients, okay? So if I look here, I see that there are some opposite coefficients with the y and negative y. So I'm just going to go ahead and add them together. So x plus x gives me 2x, y plus negative y makes a 0 pair, it zeroes out. And then I have 30 plus 12, which gives me 42. Now to solve for x, I would just simply divide both sides of my equation by 2, and I see that x is 21, all right? So that means that my first number is 21. Now to figure out the second number, I'm simply going to substitute or replace the value of x into either one of those equations so that I can solve for y. So I would say 21 plus y equals 30. To get y by itself, I would subtract 21 on both sides, and I see that y is 9. So that means that the two numbers that I'm trying to get are 21 and 9. Let's try example number 2. It says the sum of two numbers is 24 and their difference is 2. What are the numbers? Again, let's let x represent our first number and y represent our second number. So the sum is 24. That means x plus y equals 24. The difference is 2. So x minus y equals 2. Again, I'm choosing to use the elimination method. So I'm going to go ahead and add these together. I see some variables are already opposite coefficients. So that makes things easier for me. X plus x is 2x. Y plus negative y makes a 0 pair. 24 plus 2 gives me 26. To solve for x, I would simply divide both sides by 2, and I see that x is 13. Now to solve for y, or for my second number, I just need to substitute 13 into one of these equations. So I would say that 13 plus y equals 24. And to get y by itself, I will subtract 13 on both sides. That means that y is equal to 9. So my two numbers that they wanted me to figure out are 13 and 9. I'm sorry. 24 minus 13 is not 9. That is 11. My apologies. 11. All right. Let's try example number 7. The cost of 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper is $13.25. 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper cost $17. Find the cost of each. Let's go ahead and define variables. Let's let X represent envelopes. And let's let Y represent paper. All right. The first equation tells me that 3 boxes of envelopes and 4 boxes of notebook paper is $13.25. So that means I should have 3x plus 4y equals $13.25. My second equation tells me that 2 boxes of envelopes and 6 boxes of notebook paper cost $17. So second equation should say 2x plus 6y equals 17. So now remember that we have to have opposite coefficients in order to add these together, okay? So you can choose to either eliminate your x or your y, completely up to you, okay? I'm going to choose to eliminate my x. So I am going to have to multiply both of these equations by something, all right? I see that my least common my least common multiple out of 3 and 2 are 6. So I'm going to multiply one of these by 2 and one of these by 3, okay? And then I am going to add them together. But to be opposites, one of them also has to be negative, right? So let's do this one as our negative. So that means that my new equation would be 6x plus 8y equals 2650. And then over here, negative 6x minus 18y equals negative 51. Now we can easily add them and eliminate our variables because 6x plus a negative 6x is 0. 8y plus negative 18y is negative 10y. And 2650 plus negative 51 is, and forgive me because I need to use my calculator, minus 51. 2650 minus 51 is a negative $24.50. All right. And now to solve for y, I would need to divide both sides by negative 10. A negative divided by a negative now gives me a positive number. So negative 24.5 divided by negative 10 should give me, I think it's $2.45. All right. So that means that my paper is $2.45. All right, so now that I know the cost of my paper, we need to figure out the cost of the boxes. So let's just substitute or replace that value of y into one of the equations to figure out x, okay? I'm going to choose to use this one, but you can choose whichever one you want. Does not matter, okay? So I'm going to say 2x plus 6 times 245 equals 17. 2x plus, what is $6 and 6 times $2.45 is $14.70 equals 17. Subtract 1470 from both sides. And I get that 2x is $2.30. All right, way too big. I'm going to continue right up here. All right, I need to divide both sides by 2. Divide by 2, divide by 2. So I get that x is $1.15. All right, so $1.15 for envelopes. All right, moving down for 8, 11, and 12, I am just simply going to, no, I'll do number 8 again. All right, I'll do one more. So for number 8, the cost of 12 oranges and 7 apples is $5.36. and 8 oranges and 5 apples cost $3.68. Find the cost of each. Let's let X represent oranges, and let's let Y represent apples. So I see my first equation tells us that 12 oranges and 7 apples is $5.36. So I should have 12x plus 7y equals 5.36. For my second equation, 8 oranges and 5 apples cost $3.68. So 8x plus 5y equals 3.68. All right, so now I need to go ahead and eliminate something, and I need to have some opposite coefficients. I'm going to choose to get rid of my x's because why not, okay? So my least common multiple for 8 and 12 would be 24. So that means I'm going to multiply something by 2 and something by 3. And then I need one of them to be opposite. So I'm going to choose to do a negative right here. So my new equation would be negative 24x minus 14y equals negative 10.72. And this equation would be 24x plus 15y equals, I don't know what $3.68, 3.68 times 3, $11.04. All right, there we go. So now we can go ahead and solve for y. So we're going to add these together. Negative 24x plus 24x zeros out. Negative 14y plus 15y just gives me y. And then negative 10.72 plus 11.4 or 11.04, I'm sorry. Is 32 cents. All right, so apples is 32 cents. Now we can figure out the cost of oranges. So I would substitute that 32 cents into one of these other equations. I'm going to choose to use this one. So I would say 8x plus 5 times 0.32 equals $3.68. 8x plus 1.6 equals 3.68. Subtract 1.6 on both sides. I get 8x equals $2.08. Divide by 8, and so I can solve for x. X is 26 cents. All right, so oranges cost 26 cents each, and apples cost 32 cents each. All right, so now for these, we're just going to set up the equations for 11 and 12, and then you are going to solve them on your own. So for number 11, a garden supply store sells 2 types of lawnmowers. The smaller mower costs $249.99, and the larger mower costs $329.99. So we're talking about small mowers and large mowers. So let's let X represent the small and Y represent the large. If 30 total mowers were sold, so that means I'm adding small plus large to get 30. And the total sales for a given year was $8,379.70. So let's do a small mower, 249.99x, plus a large mower, 329.99y, equals however much they sold here. All right. So those are your 2 equations. Remember that you are going to have to multiply, I suggest that top one, of course, by either a negative 249.99 or a negative 329.99 so that you can eliminate one of your variables, okay? So you're going to do that, and you are going to solve for x and y and put that answer on this video, okay? Moving on to the last one that we're going to set up together, which is number 12. The town recreation department ordered a total of 100 baseballs and bats for the summer baseball camp. So let's define our variables. Let's let X equal our baseballs, And let's let y equal our bats. Now it said they ordered a total of 100 baseballs and bats, so that must mean that x plus y equals 100. Over here, they're telling us how much each one costs. Baseballs are $4.50 each, bats are $20 each. So that means my next equation should say 4.50x plus 20y equals 822. Those are your two equations. You need to eliminate one of those variables and solve for the other one, all right? So just again, to let you know, you still need to do 16, 17, 19. You set up the equations, you solve them using either the substitution method or the elimination method. When you are done, you are taking a photo of this and put it in on Google Classroom for me, okay? Feel free to email me if you have any questions. I will try to be available for y'all until about 7 p.m. And then after that, I have to be a mom. All right.